Sports Rewind Digital live with BJ, Davo, and myself, Huddo, fellas. How are we?
Good, mate.
Yeah, good for Tuesday.
Yes. Mate, we got plenty to talk about tonight. Bit of baseball, NRL, NFL, bit of F1. I'm not sure what else we'll talk about, but it's been going on for you blokes this week. Randall, I know you're at baseball training again tonight with the kids. Any other sports things going on, mate?
Last training session, mate, before the country carnival this weekend. So put them through their paces, see how many pizzas they could eat, how many drinks they could scull.
Yep.
All the good stuff.
Absolutely.
They had a nice little visit there from Ricks and Wingrove. Presented all their shirts to them. It was awesome. The kids loved it.
That is awesome.
Just recovering like Davo, I guess, from the weekend.
Bit of Masters action.
Yeah, I didn't
bit of
play,
Masters
but
action.
I drank. That was it.
You're on the important job. You're walking around with a port for everyone, keeping everyone hydrated on a hot day.
Davo,
well lubricated.
Did a story come out about this one time at band camp when he was the port pourer and he fell asleep underneath a tree before the final?
I don't know.
You haven't heard of it? Heard that one? I think possibly.
There was a small mound. There was a small mound beside me too, I believe.
Yeah, there was. I think possibly he might have drank more than he handed out that day.
Oh, it's every chance.
Yeah.
Hey, we live and learn.
I think Boy was the same. It's sort of like, I think he was sort of like, oh, there's one for you, two for me. So, yeah, he was doing a fair job, and then umpiring at the same time. So, a few rough calls, but it was a great. Well, I was only there for the Sunday. Sunday was a great day, but from all reports, it was a good weekend all around.
Yeah,
it was, mate.
All reports that it was, and great to see so many people help out and support the club. So,
just ask Cambo or Rich Campbell how he's travelling today. There was a nice photo of him. We thought injury had got the better of him on the front lawn of the house. Yeah. Injury from consumption of alcohol.
Good.
So he was rather gone by the end of the final.
Fair enough.
Yeah. He did back up though. He did back up. He ran 2 days. He did play 2 days. So
yeah,
it was a good effort from him. I'm impressed.
I bet he struggled on that second day. Yeah, a couple of good pouring stories, that's for sure. And Ninja reckons that the port got him through the last 2 innings. I reckon it got him through the first couple of innings as well.
Caught up with him today though.
Did it? Bit rough.
Yeah, bit busted. He might need a few ports to lubricate up some of those joints today.
Fair enough.
But it was good to see the whole Sunday. Nothing but left-handed catches for our team.
That is fantastic.
It is.
So, not sure whether the Campbells are still talking, like wife pitching to husband and throwing 1 or 2 in the dirt. I think that was deliberate, but
might have got a few 2 hoppers back.
There's a couple of 2 hoppers back.
Yeah, beauty.
Yeah, I do recall seeing Chippy throw one in the dirt as well, and he got one back in the dirt, and he also got one back about 5 times as hard as what he threw it in.
Did Chippy actually play all games, or did he get hit by a base runner on first base this time?
No, he was incident free. He was incident free this weekend. He had a fair run, enjoyed himself, I think, as always.
Oh, I love it.
I think him and I sat on the bench and talked absolute shit for the entire for the whole final. I think. I don't think we moved. We just talked shit.
No, splinters in the arse from those two. It's like you'd go outfield, a dig, come back, and they're still there dribbling. And it's like, wow. It was like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets. It's like the 2 of them just sitting there, blah, 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 blah.
Let me guess, it was all Baltimore Orioles, wasn't it?
No. Speedway, mate. We talked a lot of Speedway.
Oh, yeah.
With the closure of the Speedway down there. So where he's racing at nowadays. And What's sort of happening?
I did see Davo's getting their speedway up and running again, which is good to see.
Country racing you talked about. Lots of country racing.
Yeah, good. No, it's good. It would have been good to see him down at Eastern Creek, but anyway, not to be. We haven't heard any more about that, so see what comes about that anyway. So, all right, we're going to move into the tidbits, fellas. Anyway, we've got tidbits and baseball, NRL, NFL, and a little bit of Formula One action. Our Aussies carving it up over there. So we'll jump straight in. I think, Davo, you're up first.
Yeah, one for our wrestling fans. I don't know if we've got any, but I'm a wrestling fan. So, tidbit, out of all the Evolution members, Ric Flair has had the most recent match. So, for those that don't know, Evolution was Ric Flair, Batista, Randy Orton, and Triple H. That was the four of them. And 77-year-old Ric Flair has had the most recent match. So,
How good.
Good on him. He looks 100 in the photo.
He does.
The life he's led, it wouldn't surprise me that he looks like that. So, yeah.
He's probably only 42.
42,000 women and beers and drugs and everything. But, yeah, a cool little one for the wrestling fans, if there's any out there.
What a legend.
I'm a fan of wrestling my wife. That's about it.
Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Don't know about that, Randall. But anyway, Heidi, if you're listening, hello.
We'll get the better Randall next year. They're talking Heidi into having a game. So
yes.
Yeah, so it was good to see.
Yeah, second tidbit. So Luke Gehrig had 173 RBIs in 1927, and he also batted 60 times after Babe Ruth cleared the bases. So, that's just phenomenal numbers. And when I looked into his season, he hit 373, had 218 hits, 101 singles, 52 doubles, 18 triples, 47 home runs, a 474 on base percentage.
Yeah.
So that's a career in a year, isn't it?
And probably led his team in most beers drank and cigarettes smoked also probably.
Yeah, so, alongside the Babe.
That's it. Tex, mate, great to have you on. No problems, mate. Good to have you on here live, and we'll talk about those Texas Rangers later.
It's funny that he comes back now that they're back in the top spot. He disappeared when they were dropping down a few spots there.
Baseball training finishes, right. Yeah, Texas not playing well. We see through your text. Just kidding, mate. Good to see you back.
We still talked about you anyway.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks, but coincidence for sure, Tex. This is you, Randall, I think.
Yeah, this is me, actually. Ronald Acuna Jr. this season and Ty Cobb in 1911 are the only players in MLB history to have 75 or more extra base hits and 60 or more stolen bases in the same season. Both Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ty Cobb were born on December 18, just 111 years apart. So both their birthdays are 18th of December, 111 years apart, and only two players to hit those stats in a season. Well, that was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The stats alone is impressive, let alone being born on the same day.
Yeah. It blew my mind when I saw that amazing players, but obviously Ronald's got a long way to go still.
Yeah. He's having another great year, Acuna Jr. Looking forward to see what he does in October, I guess. That's the biggest thing, isn't it? So
that's where it counts.
That's it. How about this one? Jalen Warren was fined $48,333 for illegal use of his helmet in week 2. It's the exact amount of his entire game check before taxes. So he got paid $0 for playing week 2. How much does that hurt?
Yeah.
And to I believe as well. I didn't actually see it, but it didn't actually draw a penalty in the game. It was
I didn't
picked
see
up.
it.
It
I
was
only read
picked up.
about it.
It was picked up as part of the game review,
Okay.
and he received a fine, which was his entire. It just happened to be coincidence, his entire paycheck.
It's basically an electrician's wage, isn't it? Like for the week.
Well,
Day.
I was going to say if it's tough times for a Sparky.
I wouldn't get out of bed for that for just a week.
Mate, I didn't see the actual incident, but I know they're cracking down on all that. You know, they were last year massively, so it's good to see they're still reviewing different things, even though it wasn't on. Didn't get put on report or anything like that, or a penalty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think they're actually the legal team's actually fighting for the actual fine figure to be reduced.
yeah, okay.
And maybe be a percentage of. They want to relook at it instead of being a figure, just saying it's a percentage of your match fee, not
Yeah.
You're for him being a lower end person, not your whole lot.
Yeah.
Someone else it means nothing to him, but for him that's everything.
Yeah.
He's on the 2-minute noodles this week.
Yeah, absolutely is. So
That's a fair call to be percentage wise. I should say the guys that are on hundreds of millions of dollars, $48,000. It's like, do you want that in ones or twos, ones or tens? Got it in my back pocket. So yeah.
Yeah, no, fair call. Oh, this one I've seen during the week. Fernando has become the first driver in F1 history to complete 100,000 kilometers under race conditions. That's insane. How many laps that would be?
And that's just race conditions.
Yep. So obviously, longevity in the sport is a massive one for that, and I don't know if we'll see. We may see, bits and pieces of people go close, but yeah, pretty amazing stat.
But shows how good a driver he's been, because the way they go through drivers, if you're not pulling your weight, you're out. So it really shows how good a driver he's been for a long time.
Long time. Yeah, that's right. He's exactly right.
And he's still doing all right in the standings this year as well. So I had a few podiums and different things, which is pretty cool to see. I haven't followed too much of the F1 this year, but last couple of years I have. But he's doing all right. My second one here, sent through by mate Rahari. These two players here, Haywood and George, are only players in the 2010 draft still on the NBA roster. Now, I was thinking back, if this was baseball, we've still got plenty of players, that have been floating around since 2010 and stuff like that. But that's a pretty cool stat. And I think they were the fifth and the sixth picks on that draft as well. So they weren't even the 1 and 2. They were up there, but yeah, pretty cool stat.
Yeah.
That rounds out our tidbits for the week, fellas. We're going to jump straight into baseball, I think, this week, and we're talking about this. Our third grade baseballers, Davo, are going to enjoy this one. Third and fourth graders, because you sent this one through and maybe mentioned that they probably haven't even seen any of them. So
probably not.
Here's our viewer question this week. Which movie out of these 6 movies, so you've got Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, The Sandlot, Moneyball, Major League, and Rookie of the Year, let us know in the comments which out of these movies are your number one.
Yeah, if you could only save one movie out of all these, which one would it be?
What is it, Davo?
Major League.
Yeah.
With a Bull Durham a close second.
Yeah.
Yep. Randall?
I'm going to struggle to pick between Major League and Bull Durham. They're just two that, as a kid growing up, well, I don't know if I'd let my kids watch them these days, but when I was their age, I was definitely watching these movies, and that's what I grew up on, those two movies. So
Staples.
just to be different to Davo, I'm going to say Bull Durham.
Yeah.
But yeah, to pick between those two, bloody hell. It's like picking the left or the right. It's like picking the left or the right nut.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put snot on
Ninge.
the ball.
Major League for Ninge. I like it.
What about you, mate?
For me, I'm going Major League. It's definitely favourite. Didn't realise how much swearing was in it until I watched it back with the kids about a year ago. Yeah, pretty cool. Bull Durham is a close second. As for third, mate, I'm going to go Moneyball. I really enjoyed that. Obviously, there's plenty of bits and pieces up there to choose from, but definitely Major League for me. TF Hudson's on the Major League train.
So's Tex.
And Tex is on the Major League as well. So
it's true. So many iconic, funny moments. Like between that and Bull Durham, you can just pick it apart. Like, yeah, Field of Dreams has its moments where there's set lines in there that you remember, but Major League and Bull Durham have so many lines in there that you just think off the top of your head.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's some pretty cool ones. And our younger third grade players this year hadn't heard of Bull Durham. Mate, I hope they've watched it all now.
Half of them hadn't heard of Major League.
You're joking.
Who are these blokes?
Yeah.
You're joking.
I don't know what your parents are doing, but they're doing it wrong.
Absolutely. Hey, during the week, Timothy Hudson here, who is a frequent pest on the show. I just want to say big congratulations. I don't know if he's a pop or a pa or what he may be, but he's definitely a grandfather. Congratulations to Matthew and Emily.
Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool to see if you sort of know the backstory there. So, yeah, really nice to see, and everyone's doing well. So,
on you, Matthew. Just remember, mate, only men can make men.
That's right. Have I got one?
Wow.
Oh, I've got one. That's right.
Well, someone has.
Davo?
No.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right.
Mind you, they've got better sporting ability than us, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair. Fair point.
That counts.
Fair point. I had a few questions last week about what is Blitzball. So we're going to have a few bits and pieces coming up in the next couple of weeks where I'm going to show you guys a bit about Blitzball, and do yourself a favor, go on YouTube and type in the Warehouse Games or Como Blitzball or Blitzball Guy. There's plenty to choose from there. What is going to be the Australian Blitzball League? Well, we don't really know yet. To tell you the truth, it's going to be a bit of fun with whatever happens there. So, but keep your eyes out. There will be a few social games in Newcastle soon.
It's like throwing a large golf ball, large dimpled golf ball.
It is. It is. I should have had one of those balls. I got a batch of balls today, so should have had one on.
Yeah, got one somewhere around the house here.
We'll move into baseball. Randall's looking for one, but
yeah, there's one floating somewhere. I was kicking it before.
Yeah. Yes. All right. We'll move into a bit of baseball. Just so you guys are aware, I'm not sure if you knew there were 2 spots available on the end of season trip. So, not sure if you knew it.
Scotty Moyer said he's keen.
Yeah, you get Chippy on. That'll be good. That'll be good.
Does he remember saying it? I don't know, but that's what you two were dribbling about.
I was not inviting him on the trip.
Well, he was talking about it. You were in the conversation.
Nope. I think I was telling him about it, but he's not welcome.
Reduce rate, mate. Reduce rate. All right, we had a bit of baseball. Baseball's at the pointy end of the year, and this was a pretty cool one to see. I think, Davo, you might have sent me this one. Great to see pretty much 100% accuracy there on this one. So not too many times this happens during the year, and It is a pretty cool stat, and it was the Dodgers versus San Francisco, so plenty of rivalry there amongst those. But I don't know, how many have you seen this year that have been like that, fellas?
Not many.
Not many.
You see all the bad calls, like
Yeah.
they make all the news, but stuff like that doesn't make the news much. But it's so good to see, and that like so hard
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. I know we talked about one earlier. I think we might have had one for a tidbit, at the start
And
of
it
the
was
year.
all over the shop. It was rubbish. But that, I think it was one pitch called a ball that they said should have been a strike, and when you look at it close up on that, I think it just maybe catches the absolute, bottom corner.
Yeah.
Like,
With a stitch or something.
Just like,
Yeah.
And
it's just such a good game. Like such a
Yeah.
good thing to see these umpires calling great games. And yeah,
I agree with Tex there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Same.
Not enough public recognition for the good games that have been called. So,
and that one pitch might have been like 102 mile an hour fastball, low at the knees, and it's sort of like you blink, and it's like miss. So, with the speed guys are throwing at these days, it's not like the 90s or something where if someone gets close to triple digits, wow, they're doing well.
Yeah.
Guys today, if you're not throwing mid to high 90s, you're not involved. So it's so much more reaction time for the umpires. So to see that these days just makes it even more special.
Yeah. I reckon it'd probably be a lot harder to, call a strike to you, Davo, in third grade where the ball's coming at, 35 mile an hour, but it's like from up here to down over there, I reckon that would be harder to call than some of these.
Giving me credit for 35 miles.
Yeah.
I said to Cambo Sunday, I said, mate, the issue you're going to have is not to reach out for it and it's just stand there and just lob it so slow. It's like, just let it slowly come into you.
I had that issue at Belmont that time.
Yeah. Also even slower for Cambo, mate.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Tex there, a few pitches there, well over 100 miles an hour. So, I don't know. How is Bautista going these last couple of games? Randall, I haven't.
He has, mate. He's been on the IL, so
yeah. I knew a couple of weeks back he was sort of a bit dodgy, so not good.
Yeah, he's missed some time, elbow injury, so he missed the back end of last season too with I think a leg injury. So it's not good for them, but they're still got a few in the bullpen. They're just
still doing all right.
Yep, still holding in.
What about the tour of Miggy that is happening right now? Every sort of every away ground he's going to, they're sort of gifting him different things. And here we have the Angels. This is a pretty cool one. I think we might have had it on the show a couple of weeks back. Pretty cool surfboard there with all these achievements and things. And then we have the Oakland A's gifting him a $90 bottle of wine, and he's a recovering alcoholic. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Just sums up the A's, doesn't it?
It does. They've lost touch.
They can't take a trick at the moment.
No,
they can't spend any money either because they only getting 2,000 people in at a time. But anyway. Well, speaking of 2,000 people, a few people have sent me this. I'm going to share my screen because I think, Randall, you might have sent it to me late as well as Ninja.
Ninja posted it,
yeah. We just actually talked about it on the way home from training. So I said to him, "Quick, send it to me before we get home."
All right.
So yeah,
the Yankees. Apparently, there's 41,000 there or something. What was it? They had
there's tens of people.
Yeah, there is, but they had a stat. I'm sharing a different one. They had a stat where it was like 41,000 attendance or something like that. There's actually about not many.
That's what I said. Roosters home game.
Yeah, that's it. Hard to
Roosters
tell
are
if-
famous for that.
It's hard to tell if it's a Yankees game or an Oakland game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty average.
It's probably
average.
Yankees versus Oakland.
Probably.
D-backs, I think. Were they D-backs? Who are in with the chance, but I think that's the Yankee faithful saying, no, it's been a share season. So, yeah, we're not coming last game.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, 41K apparently. I don't know.
They must have all been inside.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the Yankees for you. All right, we're moving on. This was earlier in the week. Mookie Betts has driven in 105 runs this season, the most in Major League history in a single season from the leadoff spot. It's a pretty cool stat. I reckon if back in the day, if Roche played 162 games in the year, he probably would have hit that many. He was a fair leadoff back in the day.
Sure was.
Pretty cool stat. I don't know. Is there any other leadoffs that you can think of that are even close?
Not for RBIs.
Marcus is close with 97. Yeah.
What about Jose Altuve?
Yeah. He hit a bomb, a grand slam the other day, didn't he, Tex? I think I've seen that on the box scores. But
I feel like
Altuve missed a bit of time.
Yeah. And he holds the record, I think, too, for most leadoff home runs or something in his career, or something like that.
Fair enough.
Or by one player, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Where is Ronald hitting into the lineup at the moment?
I'm not sure.
I think he's leading off.
So he must be close too.
Because I've seen a few games where first pitch homers. So
yeah, actually, yeah.
So he's leading off, but it just makes that MVP battle so tight, doesn't it? You've got Mookie, 105 from the leadoff. You got Acuna with how many? I know he's batted in other spots, but now lead off with his 40/70 season. Then you've got Freddie Freeman, who we're going to bring up. That's going to be anyone's race for National League MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's good. That's what you want to see. That's what I want to see. Anyway, these guys are going with it.
Yeah, for sure. 10 leadoff. What is it? 10 leadoff homers from leadoff franchise record. There you go.
Yeah.
What else have we got here for fellas?
Oh, I saw this one today.
I think was that you that sent me that one, Davo?
Yeah, I saw a little video from Rowdy Tellez, and Josh Donaldson refused to introduce himself to Brewers teammates, saying they know who I am. So
that's why you keep getting moved on to new clubs, champ.
Yeah,
big show.
Yeah, real team player there, and Tellez pretty much just came and said, "Yeah, I do know who you are, effer." Like swore at him, said, "Don't mean shit to me," and because one of the guys, the guy who was hosting, said, "Oh, you weren't worried about him because he's a bit of a hothead." Tellez goes, "Me worried? Look at the size of me. I'm not worried about a little guy like him," and just said, "Yeah, new players like you'd just go up and say g'day, and even former teammates." But
absolutely.
What a dick.
Yeah, big douchebag moment there. Absolutely. Hey, did I see Rowdy Tellez throw a couple innings this week?
Yes. Yeah, I did saw him throw. I think he struck someone out too.
Yeah.
Willie Adonis is pretty happy with it.
And made the final out of the playoff clinching game for the Brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you see that?
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Hey, why you got your Pirates hat on there, Randall? What about this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
After trailing 9-0, the Pirates put up 13 runs to secure their largest comeback win in franchise history since 1882.
Pretty good.
Read about that.
I only seen the highlights of it. I didn't see the game, but that's it. It's a pretty big one. I do remember a team up by 9 in a Newcastle competition, and our starting pitcher who threw 8 great innings, who played for Seattle Mariners eventually, had to go because he had to deliver some pizzas. So
Pizza
he
boy.
had to go and deliver his pizzas because that was his job at the time. And anyway, long story short, the other team scored 10 in the bottom of the ninth to win. How do you explain that to your pitcher who just threw 8 lights out innings? But anyway.
Didn't matter much to him, mate. The next year, I think he was in America.
Yeah. Mate, it still haunts me, Yeah. Still talk about that a lot. But,
why were you throwing the ninth, were you?
Nah, mate, nah. I was second base, I think.
Second base.
Yeah, I can't remember. I wasn't pitching, that's for sure.
Just watching the luck go over your head.
Was
What
it
was
Bauer?
that? Nah. Portelli, Butler, Obi, and Ian Roberts end up coming on to throw the ninth.
Interesting mix when you probably would have had Bauer sitting there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, he might have been in
second
gap
grade.
year, mate. Yeah, a couple of gap years there, I think. So, anyway,
he was probably down with the Swamp Donkeys.
I would say so. Oh, Davo, you were talking about this just a minute ago, mate. Freddie Freeman, first baseman with 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, and 200 hits. LA Dodgers. That is a pretty cool one. And you blokes were talking about it before. He just keeps getting better.
Yep. Yeah. And 20 stolen bases by your first baseman. Unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that 20 home runs and 20 hits has been done before in the MLB, but yeah, that 20 stolen bases, that's the kicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's closing in on 60 doubles or something as well. I think he's got the Dodger record for doubles. But yeah, he's like,
I'm not sure.
58, 59 doubles or something as well.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Fair.
So I'd say that's why he's.
Imagine that.
Fair point. If he was still at the Braves,
mind you, the Braves first baseman's still doing all right.
He's doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just love that he keeps getting better with age, and one of the most genuine blokes. I always loved him mic'd up in spring training and when they do interviews and stuff, because he's always so genuine and just seems like a lovely bloke.
He still seems like a big kid that's just having fun playing the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't come across stressed out and worried about his average or if he's in a slump or anything like that. He's there having fun and just enjoying every day being there.
Throwing BP to his kids.
Knows the game. I think it was against the Dodgers that Miggy passed George Brett on the all-time hit list. As soon as he got to first, Freddie knew it and gave him big hug. Said, "Well done, mate." So even little things like that just show what a nice guy he is, and just knows the game and respects it.
Yep, for sure. Now this one, another Dodgers one here, Clayton Kershaw. He comes number 2 in Dodgers history with 210 wins. Let's see what he can do in October, eh?
Nothing.
So, yeah, I don't know. I've always loved watching him pitch, but see what happens.
And doesn't he now hold the record for lowest ERA as well for Dodgers starter all time?
I didn't see that one, no, mate. I'm not sure.
Something
That's
like 2.
Cool.
It's an ERA under 3. So I think I read something like that. So it's making, he's had a great career. So he keeps putting up good numbers.
He does. The Cubbies. The third, I think it's the third franchise in MLB history with 15,000 home runs. I reckon Braves would have had a good nudge at that this year, actually, 15,000. They've had a few home runs, but joining the Yankees and the Giants. So another cool stat there. for the Cubbies fans. I don't know if we've got any resident Cubby fans. Not 100% sure on that. This one, RBI leaders. Now, this was earlier on in the week. I think this might have been from like last weekend or something. So it's probably changed a bit from here. Matt Olsen, we're just talking about him, 132 RBIs. Pete Alonso, 115. Cole Tucker, 108. Albies, 104. Mookie Betts, 103. So, again, this was early in the week. There's some pretty cool stats there. Matt Olsen.
How unassuming is Kyle Tucker?
Yeah.
Don't hear much about him, but where would Houston be without him? He got 2 more today. I think he's over 110 RBIs now and 30 bombs, decent average and a good defender, but never gets mentioned in anything. And yet at the end of the year, he's up there, and Houston would be nowhere without him.
Yeah, for sure. I always love Houston this time of the year. I don't follow Houston at all during the year, but they always put up a great show in postseason, and they get it done. And Kyle Tucker's always one of those players that performs in that postseason. So
I remember a few years ago when we were doing some card stuff, and he was floating around as a prospect, and we talked about it, Huddo, all the way back then, and we I think we both even said that he's someone that this kid's going to be pretty good. Like what we were seeing of him, he's gonna look all right. And we weren't Astros fans by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we were jumped on a few of his rookie cards way back, and man, he's just gotten better and better. That guy.
He did. So I actually agree with Tex here. Mets will trade Pete Alonso. I think we'll see that for sure. Mets are doing some deals. Trade deadline this year, but also getting rid of their 2-gun pitchers and all their debt to go with them. So,
and Tex's comment there about Olsen's numbers compared to Lou's simply puts in his perspective. But also, he's got 132 RBIs, and the guys in front of him have all hit 30 bombs each.
Yeah.
So he's still done well to get that many RBIs, considering Acuna's at 40 home runs. Albies is over 30 home runs. Then you got Riley. Is Riley batting in front of him or behind him? But he's
Austin
there.
Riley,
So crazy. I suppose you can nearly make comparisons. The 1927 Murderers Row Yankees, where Lou Gehrig put up those numbers, compared to this Braves team. If the Braves go right through and win it all, surely you'd have to go close to comparing them for a Murderers Row, wouldn't you?
That's a pretty big comparison, but
it is.
You're probably not far off the money, are you? Really? Like you look at those stats.
5 of them with over 30 home runs each, and I think the others are close to 20 each. Even like Murphy catching, I think he hit 20? He's at 20 or 30 or something. So they know how to rake.
Yeah,
they sure do. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look at the standings while we're still talking about baseball. And I don't know, Randall, do you want to give us a rundown of the AL East, because you're the one following it for sure.
Yeah, mate. Look, the Orioles are holding on at the moment. They've got what have they got? 4. They've got 2 against Washington and 4 against Boston, all at home. And Tampa Bay have got 5 games or something against the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
I think, and then maybe 2 games against someone else. That'll come down to the death. I think now the Orioles' magic number's down to 3. So if they've got 7 games left or whatever, 500 baseball or whatever, they'll seal that up. Should be no problem. Come up against the Red Sox.
Yeah, Red Sox, they've given up. So you might as well just say it's 4 wins, because Sox they've given up. They've,
and the other 2
shut a few players down. So yeah.
And the other 2 games they've got are against the Nationals. So you can't sleep on them. I guess I think they did just do a number on someone. Just trying to think who it was now. But
Braves.
anyway, was it the Braves?
Yeah, I think they've just had
Swept.
a couple of game series against the Braves.
Yeah. So Orioles, if they get to 100 wins, they'll stitch up the division, which is a massive achievement for a team that, 2 years ago or whatever were 100 game loss teams.
Yeah.
Like they were losing 100 games. Now they're looking at winning 100 games.
You're doing an Astros.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what they did. Right?
Yeah.
They just
they
tanked for a few years, got all the top picks, and brought everyone through.
They were 2 seasons off 100 loss season to get 100 win season.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it. Yep, that's exactly right. Tampa Bay, they've got one of the wild cards stitched up, and I'm pretty sure the Blue Jays. Well, they're playing each other, so Blue Jays need to keep winning, don't they?
Yeah.
To grab that other wild card spot. But yeah, it's anyone's, mate. 2.5 games back.
What about the Central? We got Minnesota, 9.5 games clear of Cleveland.
Yep, they locked it up the other day, didn't they?
Yep.
Twins. So
not much to talk about in the Central.
No. Anyway, we'll move on from Texas. So there's not much to talk about there either.
Nah.
That's going to be another great race, mate. This is going to be great. I can't wait to see how this all pans out. So Houston, Seattle, I think are playing each other at the moment. Is that right?
That's where we said today. Verlander. Verlander went 8 innings, gave up 1 run. That's the sort of start you need. Texas would have got that from Scherzer, but no, he's not as good, so he's been shut down.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Can Texas hold on?
I think so, mate.
Yeah.
I think they will. It'll just be a good battle there between Houston and Seattle. I really hope that Seattle gets through, but tough ask from there.
Well, if the Rays sweep the Blue Jays,
they could both.
But it's hard when you got Seattle playing Houston. So and there's no game 163 this year. It all comes back to countbacks and all that.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Did you see any of this stuff with Houston getting swept by Kansas City and going down in the series to Oakland?
2-9, I think they went against them. Yeah, they had like 11 games against Kansas City and Oakland, and were like 2-9.
Yeah, they pretty much just opened the door for Texas to walk back in and take that division, didn't they? Like, you can't lose those games. Can't lose them.
Whatever happens, it's going to be an epic battle through these last 6 or 7 games, or however many are left, 6 games, and we'll see who takes it there. But I think Texas will storm through, and I really hope Seattle does something, but don't see it happening.
Got the defib ready, have your Tex, for a few heart racing moments. Yeah, a few heart starters for the end of the season.
Yeah.
Don't worry, mate. He's not the only one, mate. Don't worry.
There's a
few that are going to be holding on for dear life.
What about Atlanta, fellas? They're bloody red hot. 100 wins, 56 losses. They're 13 games in front of Philly. Can they go all the way? Do you think they will go all the way?
If they don't, they've underachieved.
Yeah. If they make it through the first round, because that first round, like, what is it, 5-game series, anyone can catch fire on that. 7-game series, I think they've got too much firepower.
Yeah.
It is just surviving that first round. Because any team, if you come up against a hot team for 3 games, there's your season done. Was
Game
it
over.
Dodgers last year? Someone who was red hot favourite last year just bombed out in the first round.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
After such a great season. Oh, was Atlanta? Yeah. Well,
Phillies knocked them off like first straight off the bat or something.
Yeah.
Dodgers were going too though early last year.
Yeah, remember the Phillies come through
Yeah.
They got with a wild card and they caught fire.
Yeah, they did.
Happening again this year.
Very well could.
Well.
One thing we do know, the Mets are gone for this year. The Central, Milwaukee, 6 games in front of Chicago Cubs and Cincinnati. Not a great deal to talk about here. The Cubs and Cincinnati were battling out for a little while. See what happens there.
Well,
There's definitely
at least one pick is sort of seeing the playoffs, not like someone who backed the Angels.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. It'd be like the same guy back in San Francisco to beat San Diego in this NL West. The Dodgers are on fire, 96 and 59. They always come good. They come through the Dodgers, and they're 14 and a half games clear of Arizona and 19 games clear of San Francisco. But plenty of good baseball to come, and the next couple of months is red hot for following different teams.
Really.
And, yeah. So,
last game is Monday, I think. The Sunday night baseball. That's the last.
Yep. Regular season game. Question for you, fellas: does Trout leave Angels after this year?
Yep.
Yeah. I think he's seen enough. He's tried to be patient with them, and I don't know whether it's the GM or who or the owner, but they're just not drafting well, not signing well. There's only so much a guy can put up with. Shoei's probably gone.
Does it depend on Shoei, do you think?
Possibly.
Obviously, none of us, I don't think any of us see Shoei staying around at the Angels. But if for some random reason he does Trout stay then?
Yeah, I think he would. Yeah, I actually think Trout's going to stay, see his contract out. Just my personal belief of, different things I've watched with his family. He's happy there and all that sort of thing. But
he seems loyal. He seems loyal and wants to serve a contract. But again, he might be that type of guy to go up to him and say, hey, trade me. I don't want to, but now trade me. You can get major league ready prospects. You can get good draft picks. Make the most of it. So it's a tough call.
Yeah, I heard he was going to the Giants earlier in the week, and Davo, you had a good comment. He can be on the injured list at the Giants. So,
and then Randall said, "I thought he'd want to go to a contender."
Yeah.
Well, this is true as well. This is true.
Yankees would take him.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. He might land at the Dodgers. At least he's staying close to home.
Yeah, this is true.
Good
point. Yeah, 8 years left at $37 million a year. So
there's not many clubs that can pick that up.
No.
Yeah,
your Orioles,
Dodgers,
that's for sure.
Yankees, Dodgers, possibly Boston.
That's their entire payroll, mate.
Yeah, well, I know the Giants were going to fork out for Correa last year, and that deal obviously fell through. But anyway, see what happens. I think that's it for the baseball tonight, fellas. We're at 48 minutes. I've got 12 minutes to get through NRL and NFL. No chance. Let's move on to the NRL. Who do you think is going to get through? Is this picture accurate, do you think, fellas? Or
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a
really
game.
Yeah.
The way the Broncos have been playing and what the Panthers have lost and the way they're playing, I think they're pretty evenly matched. I think it's going to be a cracker.
I agree. It's going to be awesome. Tell us who you think is going to win. For those that follow NRL, the Panthers from a pretty one-eyed Panther supporter over there, but
that is actually where I got this picture from.
Yeah,
from that person. So
solid. I like it.
Both games they were close to start with, and then just the power, like the power and energy, like the class stood up, and both Broncos and Panthers ran away with it at the end. So, as you say, they're both evenly poised. So, it's not going to be whoever strikes first. I reckon who's going to last the longest.
Who lasts the 80 minutes?
Yeah, it's first and second. It's the best two teams from the whole year that went into the last round, and whichever team won in that last round got the minor premiership. So it's probably I think it's a deserving matchup between the two. But yeah, I'm not really interested in that game anyway. NRLW, mate. Newcastle going back to back.
Never heard of it. What? Give us a little bit about that.
NRL Newcastle Knights women, mate. They've
beat the Broncos.
They're in there. They're into their second grand final in a row.
Yeah,
they won last year, and up against the Titans this week. So
fair enough.
Girls.
That should be a good battle. TF Hudson extra time, Cleary field goal. Is that the resident tipster's tip of the week? I'm not sure.
Are you putting your house on it?
Get on it.
Sportsbet paying for that?
Get on it. No idea. There was a bit of controversy late in the Broncos game, fellas. I actually caught this pass. It looked like a baseball pitch.
I thought it was NFL.
But anyway, I heard there's been a bit of action. Paul Gallen's, in a bit of trouble for what he said about it, blah, blah, blah. Has there been any other action about that, or?
No, nothing I've heard, mate.
Aren't they looking at sort of technology now to sort of see whether it goes forward or what it like to then sort of call it back? A bit like the VAR sort of thing. But
it's pretty easy when there's a camera in the perfect spot to see it. I think. And the camera's not always put in that perfect spot. It's an absolute
what's the
howler.
bunker doing? In a way, what's the like? Surely the bunker.
Well, they can't rule on a forward pass anyway, so I don't know.
Should that be a change if they see it?
There's conjecture, isn't there? Whether they've actually passed the ball forward or whether it's travelled forward with momentum. There's all that sort of stuff that they've just. I don't think they've ever been able to do it conclusively. These days might be different. Like technology now, they probably can do it.
Yeah.
They just haven't.
When it's clearly forward like that, they should be able to,
mate.
Like that. That's brilliant. Not that it would have changed the game at all, but it could. No.
Could have changed the momentum a bit, and it's changed the focus from how good Broncos were, and they did this and they did that to, bloody forward passes. There's 3 of them, and there's this, there's that. How can they get that so wrong? Like shouldn't. Same as baseball. When you don't notice the umpire or the referee, it means they've done a good job.
Yeah.
So obviously now their names are all up in lights, and they need to be dropped, they need to be sacked. Like, old mate's done 300 and whatever games, in his career. Like, he did make a big mistake. Touchies didn't back him. They were nowhere to be seen. Like,
what's the point of having touchies anymore?
I don't know. I don't even know what they do now.
Yeah.
But that was a real bad one.
Yeah, it was. Well, let's move forward to the grand final. Anyway, we've got the team list here for the Penny Panthers and also the Broncos. Let's give a bit of a estimation on who we think is going to win and what the scores are going to be, fellas, so that you can all tell me how wrong I am by 20 points next week.
I think I'm close with Toothless. I don't think it'll be extra time.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be less than a converted try difference.
24-22 Panthers.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I still think there'll be some points scored. So
Yeah.
I'm with Davo. I think you have two teams that'll score 20-ish points each.
24-18
20.
to the Broncos for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 2016.
Yeah.
But they've been two of the best defensive teams all year as well. So
well, that's it. They both let in like bugger all that last game.
Yeah.
So it might be was it Parramatta versus Bulldogs 7-6 sort of game. No tries or who knows?
I think they've got too many explosive backs, both teams, to contain in the back end of the game. Once the props and that start getting tired and whatnot, I think those backs will inject themselves, and that's when points will start to flow a bit. That's why I would say I think 2016 or somewhere around that. Two teams that score roughly around 20 points each.
Yeah. What's TF said here? This week's big game. Ref is the third best they got. Bit like a local baseball comp. Pretty sure Brian's not out there for to referee the NRL team, but yeah, I did see it's his first start or something, isn't it? I read something today. Anyway.
Oh, there's a few guys we used on the weekend that could probably come and give him a hand. I tell you what, they'd be better.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
fair enough.
His name was mentioned quite a bit on the weekend. Some of the strikes called on some of the batters. It's like, oh, come on, what are you, Brian, out there? Depending on who the hitter was.
Before. All jokes aside, we do love that people volunteer and do the job, but
we do.
Anyway, righto. NRL grand final on this weekend. You blokes having a beer for it or what?
Yeah, mate. I'll be obviously away, in Coffs Harbour, but I tell you what, we'll be turning one on somewhere.
I'd say so.
Yeah, it always used to be the rep card, like the country championships for seniors. Yep. Always
now
was.
It's juniors,
so
mate.
No matter where we went, we always sort of found a pub or a club or somewhere that'd have it. I think one year in Tamworth, we pulled the TV out in the car park, the motel car park, and we all sat out in the car park and drank and watched.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a weekend to me at all, Davo. Yeah.
The Hoey Moe better look out.
Hoey Moe will be parked. All right, the NFL fellas, we had a couple of big scores this week, especially this one. 70 points to 20. There was something like 730 yards or something by the Dolphins. I caught a little bit of this. I was on my last night shift, so I watched between this, the Bills and the Jets game, and every time I flicked back, they were just scoring and scoring and scoring. I end up watching the second bits and pieces of the second half. It was a quality game.
What did Tua have? Something like 23 of 25 completions and 302 yards, 4 touchdowns or something ridiculous.
It was something stupid.
Didn't they have 70 points with 8 minutes to go or something in the fourth quarter?
Yeah. And the biggest one for me was going into week 3. They were the biggest offensive team going into week 3 as well. So they're already the top of that list by a long shot, and then they put 70 on them. So, but yeah, it was a pretty cool one to see. We'll go to the scores in a minute, but
and
Dave, you mentioned
mate, stay at the Bronx. Wilson.
Yeah.
His days have got to be numbered, don't they?
Got to be gone. Yep. He should have went in that. What was it? The 2014 draft or whatever, MLB draft, or 2012.
The money they paid him.
Yeah, I think they already come out and said next year, like 24, he'll be gone after 24.
He'll be pitching for the Oakland Athletics next year, I reckon. Hey, last week, Davo, you mentioned one of the Cleveland blokes got injured. It was pretty bad, and watched it back. Do you find that this is a good substitute for that player?
Oh, definitely.
How good is this?
High school, 4 touchdowns, 1 game. Legend of a quarterback.
Yes,
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy getting a run for the Cleveland Browns. T.F. Hudson got it all up riding on last leg Friday. Need Packers to beat Lions. Cash out or stick solid. Oh, mate, I don't know. I don't know if they'll beat the Lions, but
Lions have started pretty well.
yeah, tough one, especially with what's the young quarterback, Love, is it? Jordan Love for the Packers. Ooh, I don't know. Depends. I guess it depends what's riding on it, but I wouldn't like the Packers against the Lions this week. But that's your call. Bet responsibly, kids. What else have I got here for NFL? Randall's been spotted. Day sober, 0. Bloody hell, Randall. Good that
is what it is.
Mate, but got to give it up a bit, just a little bit, as he sculls his dirty water. Good to see you hydrating with some water, mate. That's the main thing. What about this? Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift are dating. How about the comment? Travis Kelce scoring 6s on and off the field. Solid 6, though. It's a solid
6. Solid 6.
I love the little videos going around now where girlfriends are going to their boyfriends, sort of like, oh, Taylor Swift's going out with this Travis guy. He's going to become famous because of her.
Yeah.
And the husbands and boyfriends are like, he's already Super
famous.
Bowl winner and all that. Oh, but Taylor's going to take him next level. And they're like, nah.
Taylor who?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic. I've got a couple more, I think. I'm just having a look now. I think that's it for NFL. I was told about a Kelce doco on, I think it's on Amazon Prime. I haven't seen it. Have any of you blokes seen it? Apparently it's a pretty decent show. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, I think, you mentioned it before because I'd been watching snippets of their podcast, the Kelce Brothers podcast, which is pretty funny. How they both got booted out of daycare sort of thing just for being like just true kids, and it's just lighthearted, sort of paying out on each other as brothers do. So it's not bad either. Yeah.
It would be a good one to follow. I remember seeing bits and pieces of it, but I haven't looked at it all. I'm going to have to go and watch. I am a big fan of Kelce, so both of them, but mainly Travis. Let's run through the scores for the week anyway, and we'll see what's happening here. Here we go. Right, Giants got beat by the 49ers, who are 3-0, 30-12. Catch any of that, fellas?
Nope.
Tiny little bit in the lunch break on the Friday.
Yeah.
That was about it. But, yeah, 49ers, they just look solid again.
Yeah. No, I only caught highlights as well. The Colts beat your Ravens 22-19. Randall, I watched the first probably the first half of this, and the Ravens were looking solid. What happened?
The wheels fell off, mate.
They did this last year, mate.
You haven't. It's normally the back end of the season, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
No, I think they what did they do? They led in the first 3 quarters for how many games? First however many games, and I think they lost them all. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mate, there wasn't much watching, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah, that was a 3 a.m. game. The Browns, with Al Bundy at the helm, beat the Titans 27-3. The Lions, who are 2-1, beat the Falcons 20-6. We talked about Lions just before with T.F. Hudson's last leg of his multi there. I don't know. What do you think, fellas? The Lions have been pretty good, 2-1, 20-6 over the Falcons. I'm just not sure.
No.
The Packers beat the Saints 18-17. Pretty decent game. I caught a little bit of that. I think it was Derek Carr threw one. it was like a 64-yard touchdown or something. It was a pretty impressive touchdown, but not much else to talk about there. The young buck for the Packers is doing all right. I don't know. Will be a tough one for TF Hudson and the Lions there. But the Texans, 37-17 over the Jags. I didn't see any of that.
Texans. Wow. I think
see
they've
any of
equaled
that,
they've equaled the same number of wins as last season, haven't they now?
Yeah.
One.
It's on and up. On and up and up. So
No, mate, I didn't watch that one.
yeah. Dolphins 70 over the Broncos 20. That was just an absolutely thrashing. Chargers 28 over the Vikings 24. Vikings are 0-3, and the Chargers are 1-2.
Yeah.
Two disappointing teams so far this year.
Yep.
That's very unlike the Vikings 0-3. You normally don't see that. They're always up and around there anyway.
Yeah. No, it's not looking good for both of those guys. The Jets got done by the Patriots 15-10. Tough one. The Bills 37-3 over the Commanders. I watched a bit of this early. I didn't see later stages of the game. It was pretty close early, but the Bills obviously just ran away. Would Davo catch any of that?
No. Back to form though for the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah, both 2-1 though, moving forward. So it's a good start for them. Seahawks are 2-1, 37 over the Panthers 27, who are 0-3. Cardinals 28 over the Cowboys 16.
Yeah, that was a good game actually.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. I only sort of caught the score. So
I think there was I watched a few games the other night. They were all replays, and I feel it was the Cardinals. Almay kicked a 61-yard field goal.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure it was from the Cardinals, but yeah, they actually look good considering they were 0-2.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have been 2-0. But Dak was back to his best.
Yeah.
Pick 6 in there, I'm pretty sure, and yeah. He was back to typical form.
Can't have 3 in a row, mate. Because he's been red hot first 2 games.
Yeah.
So
can't let them get their hopes up too much too early.
No, that's it.
Nah.
Yeah, we move on to the Chiefs 41 over the Bears 10. The Bears are 0-3. Not much to report. Chiefs did a little bit better again this week. Steelers 23 over the Raiders 18. The Eagles 25 over the Buccaneers 11. What else have we got here? Oh, the Bengals beat the Rams 19-6. So what's happened to their saying they're 0-2, but they've obviously won that game. So not sure what's happening there on their scoreboard, but anyway, we'll move on.
Get
some
on the
quality.
Bills, eh? Jeff Hudson, get on the Bills. Yeah, they'll be up there again.
He's a big Bills fan. Yeah.
Until Allen goes down hurt, then they're gone.
Yeah.
Nah, Josh Allen's been pretty solid, and again, so
injury coming for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably not though. I reckon he's going to be rock solid this year. Bathurst week, a couple of weeks away, fellas. I know Randall, your old boy, loves Bathurst, and is Bathurst mad, same as that crazy bloke next door to you. They going down, or
I'd assume they're both going down. They usually do. They usually go down on Wednesday and come home Monday or something like that. So
yeah,
they always get down there and enjoy that. So I haven't actually asked if they're going, but I'd say they are.
Yes, let me have a look. I'm on day work, Tim, so I won't be doing the full day session. So
see you there, Hudson.
That sucks. All right, fellas, let's leave it there for this week, unless there's anything pressing that you want our 10 people to hear about. Thanks everyone that has tuned in. I appreciate it. And especially those that jump in and comment. Makes the show heaps more fun. And especially when we put shit on Randall and the Ravens and, Davo and his, what are they called now? The Commanders and me and the Giants. So feel free to unleash on the lads anytime. But yeah, thanks again, fellas, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers, Damo. Cheers,
Damo.
Damo's tuning in. Thanks, mate. All right,
Stay
fellas.
silent till the end.
Peace out. Hooroo.
See yous.